Hi, good morning. This is Cody Henriksen, and today we're going to be looking at how we can use Xampp on a Windows box to connect to an external database and what we have to do to make that happen. So a couple things before we get started. As you can see right now, I'm in my Xampp folder. Now, I installed this directly to the C drive. If you install it somewhere else, that's great and wonderful. Just make sure you go to wherever you installed your Xampp directory. So again, if you're running this off of, say, a USB drive, choose that directory to run that, especially if you're on, say, for example, an SSD and you're running out of space. So I go to the Xampp directory. And at the very bottom down here, you have the three different executables. You have Xampp stop, start, and Xampp control. Do not use start stop. That's not what we're looking for. We want to run with Xampp control, but we need to make sure that we run Xampp control. We need to make sure that we run it as an administrator. Otherwise, you won't be able to make any changes, save things, or run things appropriately. So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and go over here and right-click on Xampp control. And I choose the option up here to run as administrator. It has a cute little shield next to it. This is one of the reasons why, 8,000,000,006, I don't do this on Windows Land. Okay, we run that as an administrator. Do you want to make sure to run this on changes and say yes? I know. They try to scare you. That's not what we're trying to do. And as you can see right here, we have our Xampp control panel up here and going. We have Apache and MySQL set up to start and run. Because what we're doing right now, I'm not worried about FileZilla, Mercury, or Tomcat, so those don't need to have anything set up to go. But what I do have on here is you want to make sure you have your ports ready on the default set ports. We have 8443 and 3306, those ones we're looking for. And to check to make sure everything is set up properly, we go over here to the config button, we click on that, and we can see our configuration control panel. This is where we can make all the basic settings, how we can set everything up so it's all good to go. Default editor, notepad.exe is a great editor. If you want to say, for example, use Notepad++ or brackets or any other tool you're looking for to do your text editing, those are great and wonderful. Go ahead and do with that. The things I want to make sure we're doing right here, on your auto start of modules, you want to make sure you have Apache set and MySQL set. And again, remember MySQL and MariaDB, when we're running for those, they work the same way. It's all good, no big deal. We don't have to do any other basic changes right there. We'll go ahead and hit save on that. We're good to go. As you can see right here, the auto start's aborted because Apache and MySQL are already running. If you hadn't already, I just demoed this to make sure it would work first, so that's why it's saying it right there. But we're all good to go. Now, we've been working on connecting to Xampp using the command line because we want to show we can actually do that from there. So the same way that happens is on Windows boxes, almost the same. We don't have a terminal application, though we have the shell. And so I go over up here to the shell, and I just click on that button for me right here. And it brings up a quick little command prompt window that we have in Windows Land. As you can see right here, it says Xampp for Windows on here and running as administrator because, again, we have to run as administrator to get access to all the stuff for this. And our prompt indicator is the hashtag. I know. That's not the standard prompt we're used to on a Linux box, but this is what they have right here when we're working for this. And so the same basic approach we worked for this, we did, and we used other systems when we're trying to connect this on our Mac boxes in class. And so if I type in MariaDB space -h and then -u and my username and then -p. And MariaDB is not recognized. Okay, that's all right, because remember that MariaDB and MySQL are basically the same thing. So let's do this, because on Xampp and Windows it uses just the MySQL wrapper. So we just do MySQL, same thing. And then -h. And then we put in our address. So after the -h, we give in our address, and this time we're talking to 163.248.100.50, and then dash, and then my username, so -u for username, and then my username, the amazing Cody H, and then -p. Remember, again, we don't type our password at the -p, and we're going to see again why we don't do that in a second. We just press enter at this point. And here's why we don't type in our password on the -p. Look up here at the top of the command line, on top of the window. It would actually give us the password. We do not want to leave our password on full display. No, 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 no. So we type in our password using the password mask feature right here. If you don't remember your password in class, it's right on screen. You just have to remember what it is. And as you can see right now, we're connected to the MariaDB database. So even though it is not saying it's MariaDB, we actually are in MariaDB. So it runs MySQL. They didn't do a shortcut for MySQL to do MariaDB because it's the same thing. We're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to this. And we are going to type in the use and then the database we want to work with, which is MangaFruit, because MangaFruit is a fantastic database. Close our statements with a semicolon, just like normal, and we've changed our database. As you can see right here in our command prompt, we are saying that we're inside the manga fruit database, and we can run our queries just like normal. So if I type in select and press enter, it brings the prompt back down, looking more like the Linux prompt we're used to. Asterisk, and then from, and then we'll go ahead and do exports. And close our statement with a semicolon. And boom, we have our full export data shown up as a table right here, and we can make that connection and run all those right there. And so we can use Xampp on a Windows box just like we do on a Linux box or a Mac box like we do in class, and we can have access to the same level of database right there. So again, just to make sure we do a quick review of how to do that, when we're over here in the Explorer window, we want to make sure when we click on Xampp control that we right click on it and choose to run as administrator. We then go into our control panel. In our control panel, we can make any configuration necessary we need to make right there. We click on the shell button. Once we get to the shell button, we go over here. We type in our login. We use the MySQL, not MariaDB, because that's what we're hitting on a Windows box. We just do the regular approach where we have it passing it the -H for the host name, -U for the username, and we do not type in -P, password after -P, because otherwise it would show up right here on top on the window box, and that's just not cool. We go ahead and we can run all of our exports right there. If you need to do screenshots, of course, with that, when we're talking Windows screenshots, instead of Command 3 or Command 4, we use the print screen or Alt print screen just to get the individual window. And we can get that and grab anything we need to get out of there. So that's just a quick little basic review of how to work with a Windows box and how to do MariaDB. And that's how we can do that using Xampp. Thanks again. Have a great day.